What I should have did was I should have tested it out before I even got started. Let me try this to see if we're still working. Oh yeah, we are. Good. So, give me just a second here, and we should be running any moment. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry that that happened. I really didn't expect that to do that, but technology is technology, and sometimes it has a mind of its own. So we're going to try it again here in just a second and go from there. Hopefully it will get started real soon here. There we go. So let's see what happens. Here it comes. It's coming on now, and it shouldn't be very long before we are up and running and operating, and we should be good in just a second. Okay, that's my page. That's not the page I wanted. Let's see here. Here we go. Nope, that's not it either. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, we're up and running on my page. Let me see what I can do. Modern technology at its best is crazy at its worst. Okay, now you got me, right? Can you hear me? As it used to say, can you hear me now? I'm trying to bring up one more page. Give me a second here. And once I bring that up, we should be ready to roll. There we go. All right. All right. Is that better? Let me say hello, Nancy and Minister Faye, Michelle, Wendy, Laverne, Sharon. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Cynthia, the good Deacon Greer. How are you, Minister Sarah? Carolyn, good to see y'all this afternoon. Minister Rhonda, Debbie, Gina, how are you? Okay, now we're up and running and ready to roll. I do apologize for that. I am so sorry. As I was saying earlier, my computer did an update, Laverne, and obviously when it updated, it also got rid of all of my settings for my streaming. But we're back and we are ready to roll, okay? I call this Do You Remember When? And the reason that I'm doing this, and the reason that I'm asking this question is because do you remember when let's do this in two segments. Let's do this in two segments, okay? Do you remember around this time of the year when, you know, this is good evening, Lisa, how are you? And all of the things that used to happen, you know, this is Palm Sunday coming up tomorrow, and then, you know, we had Good Friday, and we had all of those other things, and then, of course, the Sunday after that is Easter. Do you remember growing up how exciting those days were? Gail, I'm just trying to see if I can get a couple of people to kind of reminisce something with me for just a few moments. Pastor Steed, how are you? Do you remember how Minister Avery, do you remember, and I know The Easter bunny was in there. I know the new clothes was in there. Hey Tom, I know that the chocolate and the egg hunts, and I know, Gaither, I understand all of that. And we used to get excited. Now I don't know about anybody else, but I was raised poor. Matter of fact, I was raised poor. We were so poor we didn't know what poor was, and so but we were excited about Easter. We were excited because we were going to get us some new clothes. And you know what kind of clothes we was getting? Church clothes. We was getting new church clothes, new shoes, all of that kind of thing, because we was going to church. And everybody was going to church dressed up. Back then the girls had them little socks on with the little frills around the top, and the boys would have their suits pressed and their white shirts and their ties. Y'all remember that? Shoes were polished, looking good. Mama and daddy was just we got in the clean car, because this is the time of celebration, and dad would make sure that the car was washed and cleaned inside and out, because we was going to church. And in the midst of that, it created this excitement about going to church. It create, because if we didn't get no new clothes any other time, we was gonna get them Easter clothes. Okay, there you go, Debbie. Them patent leather shoes. Y'all, look, I wish I had a couple people that could go back with me, can go back to those days and those times. Okay, and when I say we were excited, we were just like, come on, let's go. Now the truth of the matter is, we ain't care that much about the choir and the preacher and all of that kind of stuff. We just were excited because everybody, irregardless of their economical status, was dressed for church. And then after church, there you go, the bonnet. See, I know, Minister Avery, I know there's some folk out here that remember what we used to look like. And then as our children, can I go a little bit further? When our children, okay, Barb, you need to stop, Pastor Mass. She got to talking about, because we didn't have, well, y'all didn't have, okay, y'all didn't have, y'all didn't have chemicals for your hair. That's what Barbara's talking about. And y'all had them curling irons and them pressing combs. Okay, and the house, I can't even think of the name of that grease that y'all would use back then. Okay. Oh, there you go. See, I know I got some for hot comb, and you put that grease in there and put that hot comb, because you'd have to put the comb on the stove. And Saturday, the boys would get their hair cut. And see, back then, barber shops weren't as prevalent as they are now. So there was somebody, Gail, you catch where I'm coming from? Yeah, the white shoes match the purse. I just need some real folk gloves and hats. I just need some real folk that can, for just a moment, go back and look at what life, we didn't have much. But man, that was exciting. It was exciting because we was all getting dressed up. And even if somebody didn't have a whole lot, man, that stuff was pressed. It was shined. We looked good. Matter of fact, we were so cute because, we had to do our speeches and all of that other stuff that we had to remember what we were supposed to say and recite those things. I mean, all of that stuff was exciting. And then, yeah, some only did come on. Listen. There you go. Bergamot. I knew somebody knew the name of that grease. Bergamot. Uh, and long A pressing grease. See, I'm just waiting on some of y'all. I'm just waiting on some of y'all. Okay, Royal Crown grease. There you go, Sherry. I knew Dixie Peach. Come on, come on, come on now, come on. I just need some of y'all to wake up for Royal Crown. I need some of y'all to wake up and recognize that's how it was. Everybody's house was filled with smoke, and we ain't talking about cigarettes. Blue Magic, see, I know some of y'all. Okay, your mom used Dixie Peach, and you couldn't tell us nothing. We couldn't even have church good for being cute. Okay, and back then, when it was time for you to do your little speech, you couldn't stand up there. Vaseline on, yeah, because you know what, Wendy, everything had to shine on y'all. Because, y'all wasn't wearing stockings and stuff back then. So what would you do? Vaseline on them shoes, make them shine on them legs, on them arms, all of that. Even on your face. Some of them came to church kind of shiny on the face. But guess what? You had a made up mind that you was going to look good. Okay, I see you. Ah, oh, my God. Yeah, you couldn't stand up there with a piece of paper in your hand. You had to know the speech. You had to know it. And them sisters be looking at you like you better come on with it. And even if you messed up, they gave you a little grace. But when next year rolled around, you better knew your stuff. Remember after church? Remember after church? See, I'm getting ready to go way back because y'all really ain't ready for this. Murray's. Oh, you remember that? See, that's the stuff that went in the boys' head was Murray's. That stuff was so thick. You'd have to rub it in your hand until you got it hot enough to put it through your hair, because it was just that thick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you remember? Do you remember? Okay. And here's what you gotta remember, y'all. That was the time that in our brokenness, yeah, there you go, yeah, that razor line, because see, the kind of razor they had back then didn't have a guard on it. And you better know what you was doing. Yeah, you shine like new money. You look like new money even though you ain't had no money. And guess what? Everybody had money to go to church because our parents or our grandparents or our aunties or our uncles would make sure that they would give us some money for church. Mary? Now, sometimes we'd lie. I'm just going to wait on a couple of people. Sometimes we'd lie. And say that we put all that money in church, but no, because you was trying to sneak to the store, get you some of that penny candy. Oh, but you couldn't do that until after you had the Easter egg hunt. There you go, Gaither. You had to have the Easter egg hunt. And here's what and this was a long time ago. Here's what we used to do. After the egg hunt, we'd go out in the yard. The stocking cap. Milton, don't you start. You know, because you had to have your waves right back then. Because if you're the wave cap, yeah, if you had to look good. And we do the egg hunt out in the park, not in the parking lot, but in the grass. And then everybody brought a meal. Y'all remember them wicker baskets? S-curl, yes. Y'all remember the wicker baskets? All right. That's right. Do you remember the wicker baskets? And mama would have here you go. I see it coming up now. Ham, potatoes, yeah. You'd have that real fried chicken. Yeah, and we didn't have styrofoam. You had to bring the real plates. And we, after we got done with the egg hunt, and they wouldn't let us eat all the eggs because we had to eat. And what would happen is they'd have the tables outside. And everybody would open up their stuff and put it on the table. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Oh, Tony's Candy. Somebody. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done. And they would spread that stuff out there, and you get your little plate, and Mama would walk with you to make sure that you wasn't being greedy, because you had to make sure that there was enough food for everybody. And believe me, there was more than enough food, and we ate and we fellowshiped and we had a good time. Now, you know, later on we had to have another worship service, but by that time we didn't care because we were full and happy. Do you remember when we were poor and happy? Do you remember when we didn't have much and was happy? Listen, racism was still running, prejudice was still high, but there was a sense of belonging. There was a sense of inclusion. There was a sense of love. I was going to say love and happiness. There was a sense that you mattered and you counted, Ayana. There you go. You needed a can opener to open the pop or the soda, whichever one you called it. If you was from the South, it was soda. If you was from the North, it was pop. Cecile, and we would sit there and just fellowship. Because you know what? We didn't have much, but we had God and we had each other. I miss those days. I miss those days when we cared about each other. I miss those days when we loved each other. I miss those days when everybody was my mama and everybody was my daddy. I miss though. I even miss them days when I got whoopings and I didn't do nothing wrong. I miss the camaraderie. Family. There you go. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Pastor Mass, we were poor and did not know it. It was an amazing time. It was and guess what we're doing? We sound just like our parents. And then all of a sudden, things changed. Yes, in raising our children, we did the same thing. Everybody had to go to church on Sunday. Let me tell you what will happen. I'll tell y'all this story, and I'm going to let y'all go because I done kept y'all too long. I just want to know, do you remember? Sometimes we would have family come from out of town, and my dad gave them a choice. You either stay at home with no food, because all the food was going to the church, or you got you some Sunday morning meeting clothes, and we all went together and shared with one another. You do know that tomorrow, Lady Harrison, Lady Tammy Harrison, tomorrow is Palm Sunday. And then the next Sunday is Easter. And I'm just wondering, can we begin to bless the Lord for allowing us to see another Palm Sunday and another Easter? I found something. Matter of fact, it actually found me. In Psalm 145, starting at verse 17. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, gracious in all his works. The Lord is near to all that call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desires of those that fear him or are in awe of him. He also will hear the cry and save them. The Lord preserves all who love him, but all the wicked he will destroy. My mouth, oh glory to God, my mouth shall speak the praise of the Lord, and all flesh shall bless his holy name forever and ever. Yeah, we used to leave our doors open and didn't worry about, we didn't know what a lock was. We looked out for one another. We loved one another. We cared for one another. We were our brother and sister keeper. Here's what I'm going to ask, starting on tomorrow. I would love to see us sacrifice something. I didn't say fast, but I would love to see us. That's right. I would love to see us ask God during this week between Palm Sunday and Easter to ask God to bring our families back together. I'm going to just wait on you. I'm going to just wait on you. Lord, bring family back together. Bring a sense of unity back together. Bring a sense of interdependency upon one another back together. Not just for a meal, not just for games, not just for Easter hunts, not just for chocolate, but for the sake of the sanctity, the sanity, and the preservation of ourselves as a people, that we turn back to being our brother and sister's keeper. And here's how it will happen. All you got to do is ask him. The Lord is near to all of them that call upon him. And I just believe that God is able to do above and beyond all we could ask or think. Whatever you want to give up, whatever you want to sacrifice, I'm not asking you to do it all day. This is between you and the Lord. But in that time of prayer, in that time where you slow down and you stop, if it ain't but a minute, Lord, bring our families back together. Lord, give us a sense of family again. Lord, I know they getting high. I know they drunk. I know they crazy. I know they living with somebody. I know things are not right. But they still my family. And whatever I got to do, Lady Tammy, whatever I got to do on my knees, I'm going to do it. And then if I'm challenged to do something, even, I want y'all to get this, even if I'm rejected, let me at least try. Now, hear what I'm saying. We can't gather yet. Don't be bringing them all over your house. Don't do that. Don't do that. But begin with just conversation. Now, let me preface this. I'm glad, Lady Tammy Harrison, that's a confirmation. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't throw up in their face all that they've been doing. Don't talk about them like a dog. Don't sit back and rehearse all the mistakes that they have made as if you've been holy all your life. Oh, I wish I had somebody. Don't sit back and be judgmental when they say something stupid, crazy, even if they cuss like a sailor. Now tell them to respect you, but by the same token, do you remember when it was you? Because you ain't always been so holy. You ain't always been so righteous. You haven't always been where God has called you to be. So the same grace that was extended toward you, you now extend toward them. I'm talking about praying for your children. I'm talking about praying for your grandchildren. I'm talking about praying for your great-grandchildren. Lady Tammy, we will begin tomorrow, whatever time you want to begin, on Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday. Wherever you place it in there, however you do it, whatever works out between you and the Lord. This is going to be something that you will initiate between you and the Lord. If it's nothing but 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, let's ask God to restore our family, to save our family, to renew our family. Here's what the enemy has done. Because he's been good at dismantling families, he has also been good at dismantling neighborhoods. Because he's been good at dismantling neighborhoods, he has become good at dismantling cities. Because he's been good at dismantling cities, he's been good at dismantling states. And because he's been good at dismantling states, he's been good at dismantling this nation. But if we want God to bring back righteousness and holiness, we can't expect it to be generated from the White House until it is first generated in your house, in your family. Show some love. Show some kindness. Now, you ain't got to give them your money because you already know the shiesty people in your family. But you can give them a few minutes of your time. And let them know I'm praying for you. If there's one thing that'll get through to them, is when they hear you say, because maybe some of the dysfunction is because you're so distant from them. And even if they reject you, even if they don't want to be bothered, even if they don't text you back, even if they don't call you back, that's okay. Quit taking stuff so personal. One plants, one waters. Only God can give increase. Love you one and all. Thank God for you. Bless the Lord for you. To God be the glory for you. And so I'm getting ready to get out of here. I've had a crazy long week. Whole lot going on. Whole lot to still go on. Yes, churches as well. Throw your church in there. Throw everybody's church in there. And let's see what God does. Because I am believing that God is going to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we could ask or think. Look, have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. We'll be on at 10 a.m. My Facebook page, Union's Facebook page, OBSC's Facebook page, Union's website, and Union's YouTube page. Join us. If you have your own worship experience, you better be found at your own worship experience. But if not, join us. Pray for us. And watch God work. May God bless you and may He keep you, is our